back. You're watching BSG Online 8. We are benefiting Mind. I hope everybody has been enjoying so far. We've got another treat coming up for you now. We have Janglestorm going to be showing off some Mickey no Tokyo Disneyland Daibōken. Jangle, take it away.
Thank you so much, Tim. And hello everybody. Good to see you all again for BSG Online, and happy to show off this game. This is actually the first time I'm doing this game for a marathon, so I'm looking forward to that. This is, like Tim mentioned, Mickey no Tokyo Disneyland Daibōken, translates as Mickey's Great Adventure in Tokyo Disneyland. So we're gonna have some great adventures, that's for sure. This is a game that was never released outside Japan, so there's a lot of you that may not have heard of this game, but I guess the comparison that I usually make is with the Magical Quest games, which were on the Super Nintendo from Capcom. This was kind of similar. It's definitely a somewhat underrated gem, which I think a lot of people will enjoy. First off, I'm going to be playing on easy difficulty. The main difference is that I get more health. Otherwise, nothing much changes, so it will help with some damage boosting and such. And that's about it, really. So time is going to start as soon as I start the game, so there's going to be in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you. So we're going to go to some theme parks in Tokyo, and we're bringing some balloons, yay! Hope you'll like balloons, because there's going to be a lot of balloon action, really, and we're going to be using it a lot throughout the run. And already starting here, there's a lot of things I want to do there, also in terms of where I want to steer myself. One thing to know is that there's 2 types of balloons, and the first one that you see here is this gas balloon, which I'm primarily using to make myself float through the levels, or fly through the levels pretty much. And also there's this water balloon, which I'm primarily using to press buttons with, and also attack enemies with, like these chests. There's a lot of chests, believe it or not. There's a lot of mimic chests. So this first level is inspired by the Pirates of the Caribbean theme. These are all theme parks in Tokyo Disneyland specifically, although they might be elsewhere too, but of course this is in Japan, so there you go. There's a couple of really nice, challenging, sometimes challenging pieces here, such as this burning town, where I'm trying to kind of yeet myself across the screen, really, and trying to get past all kinds of fire, including these all these fire drips, I guess. It's really cool if you can create a certain flow in that. There we go. Then I always have to charge those balloons. This upcoming water section is also pretty cool, especially if I manage to hop on the water. Okay, didn't quite get it there, but if I would get it specifically over there, I could set up for a really nice diagonal boost on the water, which is really cool to see. Gonna see if I can get some water hops here. There we go. The thing is, you have to jump at more or less the right moment in order to do that. Just steer myself on the water here, and then oh, okay. Still hitting some balls, that's fine. As long as I don't stay underwater for too long. There we go. Underneath the boats. So long. And do that. A couple of seagulls that I try to avoid. And that brings us to the first boss fight. So, yeah, the boss is always going to be Pete. Pete has been the mainstay of various Disney games. And in this case, we're fighting him at the end of each level, each theme park. And for the most part, the boss fights are pretty simple, so just attack, usually with a certain rhythm, and that does the job. So, yeah, I may hear you think, why are we fighting Pete? So the story is that Mickey and his friends are rehearsing a show in Tokyo Disneyland, but turns out that Mickey comes there and all of his friends have gone missing. So turns out that Pete actually tricked them into thinking it was their day off, so they just went to the various attraction parks, and now Mickey's just trying to locate them. That's pretty much what it comes down to. And so we get introduced to all these theme parks. This here is based on Big Thunder Mountain. As you can see here, a little bit more Western themed stuff here. There's some cool stuff to be had with well, what you saw before. Also, I have to point out, a thing I'll be doing way more often is I'll also be attacking with these gas balloons, these orange balloons, which I also try to do whilst yeeting myself across the screen. Sometimes when trying to hit certain enemies, it's a bit more precise than hitting with the water balloon, but it is possible to do that. So like, in this case, what I try to do is, as soon as I start colliding with a certain enemy, I try to release the X button in this case, and if I do that at the right moment, I can actually attack the enemy and not take damage myself. So that's what I'm typically trying to go for there. Over here as well. Although I would sometimes go for damage boost here. Yeah, that's part 1. Then there's this part where the game sort of expects you to use these hand cards. Spoilers, we're not going to do that. What are we going to do though is this. So this is a little bit faster. We're going to write this vulture because apparently that's a feature of the game, which is, you know, I can get aboard with that. And furthermore, there's some other hand cards. We're mostly not going to be writing them. We're just going to yeet ourselves across this path here. There we go. And this is the one we will be using because this is a gap and a couple of dropping things here. I have to duck for the last one because that one actually attacks me. But there you go. So this screen is by far the longest in this level. And if I wind up dying here, the further I go into it, the more time loss it will cost me. So I'm hoping that this will go somewhat okay. Okay, that was still fine though, but I have to watch out. Sometimes I'm a little bit low in health, but typically it doesn't matter too much. Especially as soon as you get the routing figured out, like what you want to do where. It does make it quite a bit easier. Alright, so here... oh, I actually went too far, oops. Okay, that's fine. Wiki, please. This can happen too. If you somehow overshoot that, it sends you back quite a bit. That was unfortunate. I was not expecting that to happen. It's been a while, but it can still happen, I guess. We'll try it again. Let's see. Go over here. This diagonal is pretty easy to set up. I don't think any of the enemies regenerate, so that's good. Okay, let's just play it a little bit safer, I guess, since I totally missed that. But the idea is to build a bridge here, consisting of these water balloons. And, well, of course we're not going to build the entire bridge because it's a speedrun, but only going to place 4 of these, and that will be enough. For the rest, we're just going to do this, yeet ourselves across, well, slightly yeet, and does the job. And next up, we're going to go over here. Gonna launch myself upwards. If I can pull this off, I can get myself in here. Let's see. Perfect. That's a bit of a tricky one because you have to like go at exactly the right moment. But if you can do that, then you don't have to worry about that at all. Okay, I do have to worry about this though. So I'm just gonna play this a little bit safer because this part is normally where I would set myself down. But usually that does result in a damage boost, so I'm just going to play this a little bit safer. Then go over here. There we go. And then over here. And there we go. Up we go. That was a bit scary, but I'm very glad that we got through that because, like I said, if I would have died there, that would have been a huge time loss. Well, I would say at least a minute or so. Probably more, but... Otherwise, the game is pretty generous in terms of lives and continues. You can oftentimes start over again from the same screen. A few exceptions here and there, like with the boss. If I would have you continue, then I would start off from the previous screen, but otherwise it's fine. My timing is a little bit off there. I really have to time it so that I start charging first and then jump and then throw. There's a bit of a rhythm to it. But yeah, that was the second level. And now we saved, or we found Donald. So the dialogue that you see there is not necessarily that special. I actually did end up playing with a translation patch recently, and yeah, it turns out that the dialogue is pretty functional. It's like, okay, I found you, and the other character is like, I didn't know that I got tricked. And then Mickey tells him, okay, you can go back now and get ready for the rehearsals. But that's basically every single dialogue, really. Okay, this next level is taking place on Splash Mountain. And there's a lot of water, as you can see here. So first part, going down there. Now we got this mini-boss, which, as my chat pointed out recently, kind of looks like it's a Battletoads-inspired boss. So I guess that's canon now. But you have to drop this balloon here, send the mini-boss into the spikes, and that's doing the job. And this brings us to a section that can definitely be interesting to try out. There's a lot of stuff that can happen. You're surrounded by water, flies and bees and all the funny stuff. And I'm saying bees. There's actually a lot of bees. There's a couple of beehives that you see there. No kidding. If you release those bees, they will cause a lot of lag. So you may not want to do that for the speedrun. Or at least I try to. Not to anyway. Some more yeets. Oh, there's alligators too. See if I can do this. Okay. Yeah, this already gives a bit of an indication what would happen if I would somehow get to those bees. Oh, there we go. This part is also really fun to do. We're going to skip off these boats if everything goes well, so let's see. Oh, I released it a little bit too soon. That's fine, gonna try it again. Ideally I would land on that platform there actually. But I just missed that. That's fine though. See? Okay. At least I still have enough health for this part, so that's good. There's quite a bit of damage boosting here, and this is also why I play in easy difficulty, is that I can do that sort of stuff. And I used to actually take a death there if it would be too low in health. But lately I've been opting for that health pickup because I usually have I have enough health that I can do that. Let's see. Over here. This part is typically quite a bit easier, I find. Just have to get across. Yeah, and this brings us to the next boss fight, but not before we actually take this boat and go down this waterfall. Whee! Fun to be had at Splash Mountain. So yeah, otherwise this boss is not terribly difficult. In fact, it can be done very safely by just standing over here. Just you have to get over to Pete initially to start the fight, or to start the boss fight, and then you can just hang out over here and just, you know, hold the balloon or whatever you like. Hydrate. Be sure to hydrate, by the way. It's good for you. Yeah, we have to take out these alligators. There's going to be a group of them. There's a bit of randomness to them sometimes. I also discovered recently, but nothing that you would typically be too worried about. So even if I would be on just one health, it doesn't feel like I would be in the biggest danger necessarily. Just you have to make sure that you don't get hit by them. So yeah, that's 4 rounds, and then Pete has been stomping the ground a couple of times, and then, oh, suddenly the floor collapses. So yeah, that certainly happened. And that was Splash Mountain, and we have found Grabman Duck, who I guess had a lot of fun on Splash Mountain. So now a somewhat spookier theme. We're in the Haunted Mansion. See some stretched out action here. So we start off in this pit, and we have to sort of fly our way upwards. And we have to make sure not to get caught by the ghosts. So still have to make sure that I keep moving. But otherwise it's not typically too complicated. Just gonna go here. It's important not to get hit by the spikes, because as soon as I get hit by those, I'll lose my momentum and I just get sent down, and I'll get caught by the ghost anyway. And now you got a series of doors. This is the first one. This really highlights the upward flight momentum thing, where in addition to charging the balloon, I'm also holding the jump button. If I do that, I can actually gain a little bit of extra height, which is not very apparent like right away, but that is a thing that you can do. So whilst I do this, now is probably a good time for some info, or if you have any donations, go for it.
Okay, thank you very much. We have indeed a donation just coming in. We have 25 euros from Eric's. It's great seeing one of my favourite obscure speed games shown off for a good cause. Good luck to Janglestorm on the run. Well, thank you so much again for that generous donation. Remember, all your donations go towards Mind. And please, please keep those donations coming in. We've raised 825 euros so far. Can we hit 1,000 euros before the end of my shift? Let's see if we get those donations in. Thank you very much indeed. Back to
we'll
you,
see.
Jangle.
Yeah, thanks, Eric, for the donation. By the way, Eric is the current world record holder of this game. He got a mid-24 time. I actually updated my PB yesterday with a low 26, so that one is fresh off the press, so to say. Alright, so that was the first door. Each door is pretty unique in that sense, in that you wind up doing a certain thing in order to press a button. In this case, we have to go through this door maze of sorts, which thankfully for us is not very complicated. You fall down this gap and that brings you almost automatically to the right door. We press that button there as well. The thing to point out is I do that specifically to save time. You are normally supposed to lay down like a balloon, a fully charged balloon, in order to get the door to open. But we could just hit it like barely, and that will allow us to go through there if we line it up correctly. So that is a nice little speech right there. Alright, going through the door. And that actually brings us back to the beginning. That's nice. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna do a thing here. Hopefully I can do this. It's a bit tight, but... Nah, okay. There we go. So, yeah, normally you're supposed to take the stairs, which we're not gonna do because it's slow. And also, pressing the buttons does lower those stairs and they cause lag. So we're just gonna, you know, get ourselves over to the ghost and cram ourselves through there, which is a bit tight, but it's a really cool strat if it works out. You just have to time it with the dash and with the balloon charge. As you can see, it can take me a couple of tries, but it's always worth it though for actually taking the stairs. So now we got the bust room, which I learned the other day apparently is also a thing in the Haunted Mansion. So I learned. A little bit of a strat here where we hit them from underneath. Again, I guess the game doesn't really expect you to do that, but that's what you can do. Also, you can hit those buttons from the side, because apparently that's where the hitbox can be found as well. You don't have to stand on them, but you can also make it a little bit faster and just yeet at them from the side, and that apparently does the job as well. So that's always good. Alright. Last door. Got some knights here. We should avoid those. Okay, and then... I mistimed that. I had the same thing on my PB yesterday. I don't know what is up with that. Like, second try is probably fine, but the thing is to wait a little bit and then fall down, because that will allow you to hang in there and just set up the rest. Oh, oops. They were moving. Okay, I'm just gonna drop this here, see if I can get ahead of all those knights here. The thing is, if I want to hit that button from the side, I have to, like, yeet very soon after I start filling up the balloon. So it can be tough to get the time down for that sometimes, but... Oh dear, okay. Had some issues getting away from there, but it's fine. So now we take a little bit of a shortcut here. Brings us back to the beginning, once again. Then, yeah, it's time to go through the door, because all those lamps are now lit, so we can now go through there. And it brings us outside to the graveyard. There's gonna be another thing here that's... can be a thing sometimes. Let's see how it goes. Oh, I'm getting hit by random things here. I shouldn't do that. Let's see if I can do that instead. So you have these ghosts coming out of this opening, and yeah, it's also a momentum thing. If you get hit by those ghosts by any means, you will get struck down, and there's going to be a pit there. So yeah, you don't want to do that. So now we got Pete once again, who is trying to attack us. He's this ghost-like figure, trying to sometimes drop down on us. But there you go. So sometimes it's tough to actually land those hits because you tend to not throw the right height or something, but typically it's not the most difficult boss. Anyway, now we've...
Sorry, carry on.
Go ahead.
Yeah, do we have a second for a donation?
Of course.
We have a special one for you here.
Oh.
We have Family Janglestorm with 50 euros.
Very nice.
Hey Jangle, good luck from your family. Thank you so much indeed, Family Janglestorm. Absolutely amazing. Can I just say that Janglestorm is amazing? Thank you.
No, you. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, my family is always very supportive, so thank you. Okay, we're now on Space Mountain. Had some issues trying to get across there. That's fine. We'll just try it again. Let's see. Yeah, first there's a lot of diagonal action here. So like this. Sometimes I have it lined up so that I can get across there a little bit more directly, but in this case I have to wait a little bit longer, and yeah, you also have to watch out for that. There's a little bit of randomness to that as well, and that sometimes they can attack you, sometimes they don't. But anyway, yeah, that's the first part. Now we have lasers, which we sometimes try to get through, and these tiny robots that we try to avoid. Here's a fun little trick. Oh, I didn't quite get it. Okay, I'm gonna do it again, especially for the fans, because it's fun to show off. There we go. So normally the game expects you to lay a balloon on both of those buttons, but yeah, you can do strats like that, and I couldn't pass up that moment. I couldn't let that just pass. I wanted to show that. So yeah, we're space here. This is actually a room that we will see later on as well, where we basically go up and down, fly up and down the room. And in this case, we have to avoid these tiny, I don't know, these droids, these bots. I'm not sure. Just getting to some teleports, and this is a part where it almost feels like it's a maze. It's not that complicated, thankfully. So there's that at least. This is a bit of a strong wind here. So I try to fly upwards and then park myself there briefly and then go through here again. This is where I have to choose. It's always the same pattern, so there's nothing random about it, thankfully. There we just sniped the mimic chest. We even have them in space, apparently. And we go to the right. And this is where we find a somewhat similar room to where we were just now, except there's a little bit of a nice little twist here in that we're going over here, and this actually grants us a little bit of invincibility, and that's exactly enough to get through this room. So that's really, really thoughtful of the creators. So, just go stuck there. That's fine. Go over here and then fly up here. And then, yeah, well, let's go for a ride, shall we? We're not going to stay on this ride forever, sad to say, but we're going to do some really cool strats here. So, we're going to fall down here, and we'll do some diagonal balloon action here. And we're going to skip most of the attraction here, which is good for the speedrun, sad for those who like attractions. But at least we'll be going in here still. And send myself over here. One more trick coming up, which I'm hoping works out well enough. Hopefully this is not a self-jinx. Because we're gonna do a floor clip, hopefully. So there's a bit of timing to it. A little bit longer. Yeah, this can be... I don't know, I've had issues with this one recently for some reason. But I want to clip myself down there, if I can. There we go. Okay, that didn't take forever, thankfully. But yeah, ideally I would get it first try, but that's how it is. Anyway, we now fight Pete in space. We can only attack him at certain moments, because right now we can do that, but there will be a moment where he will start sliding, because this cabin is moving around quite a bit. It's space, I guess. And yeah, most of the RNG in this boss fight is pretty much down to this, really. So I'm just hoping that it doesn't happen too often. Let's see. Oh, that was a quick one. There we go. Okay, that wasn't the worst. And that brings us to the final level. We're almost there. This is going to be the Cinderella Castle Mystery Tour. And starts off with a thing here that I need to focus on for a bit. See if we can get that. It's really cool if I can manage that. So these spike things here. There we go. That's that can be a thing that can be easy to screw up. So I'm always glad when I make it past there. But yeah. Otherwise you have to wait a little bit longer. There's these gaps, otherwise that you might fall into. So I'm just trying to prevent that. There we go. And this is where you sort of have to figure out where you need to fly up. Thankfully for us, we know the solution, which is right up here. And then we get to this room where we'll be doing a little bit of a damage boost past these spikes. See if that goes well. That's nice actually, because you can do that too. Sometimes if I get lucky enough, I can actually get a tiny jump there whilst in my iframes. But I ideally would like to get across without dying. If I have enough health at the beginning of the level, that's the thing I can do. So this is an intentional death that I will take, just to reset this. This is definitely a tough room. When I was learning this speedrun, I definitely spent some time trying to get to know this room. There's some challenging things here. But it's a fun room. There's some really cool things there. And some really cool movement cycles that you can get. So here, plus here, and then go over here. See, like that. Easy does it. I need to be up here. So, got these wrecking balls. I can sort of diagonally keep myself down there and get past them. It's really cool. You can do that like that. How am I gonna do this? Okay, I might just as well do this then. Okay, these parts, let's see. Some more diagonal stuff, just like in the Space Mountain. Let's see, over here. Oh, we might get a door despawn here. That would be cool. No, wait, just saw it. Just saw it. I almost had it, but yeah, just missed out. That's fine though. Okay, at least we got through this part of the level. This is definitely a challenging room, especially with that stuff later on, and it's also a long room, so if you wind up dying there, it's quite a thing, but we made it through at least. Okay, so now we fight this mini-boss, this dragon. I'm more or less trying to stay over here because we want them to be down here, so we could just start attacking. And if we get lucky enough, there are rounds where I don't actually get attacked, but at the very least I'm trying to get these hits in. So like this might be the last one. There we go. So that's where I need my health for sure. And there's one more room before we get to the final boss. Gonna grab this invincibility here because of a couple of spikes that we will be hopefully avoiding. Let's see, go over here. Oh, that was a bit of a drop. A bit of a drop there. Okay, here and then. That was too low. Too bad. We're gonna try it again. This is still a somewhat tough room sometimes. Also, if you're like on the PB pace or something. But yeah. Let's see, gonna try it again. Just have to lower myself at the right moments. That should be good though. Let's see. And then we're gonna fly upwards. Thankfully, I have enough health. If I don't, then I can actually grab them from those chests underneath. But yeah. This brings us to the final boss fight. We fight Pete once again in various forms. But first we have to deal with these skeletons that he's summoning apparently. What I do is I try to lay down one of the balloons so that will attack one of them like right away, and then I can focus on the other two. So just trying to see where I put them. It's typically scripted, so I more or less know where I need to drop them. So it's predictable enough that you can do that. So then we fight Pete himself, who will appear on either side of the screen. And the thing is that we have to wait for his iframes to run out, and then we start attacking him. So you have to be somewhat patient. In this case, at least, there's no additional stuff happening, so it's not too difficult at least. Then this is still the tricky part. Sometimes you still see these skeletons. They manage to find you. Then one more hit, and then we get some additional stuff where Pete will do this. He'll send wind, so we'll get blown backwards and possibly into those arms of those skeletons. So if we can, we try to avoid that. And if I'm lucky, I'm able to set it up so that I don't actually get damaged at all. But yeah, it can be tough to time that because it's a bit precise, but... Okay, I think this is the last hit. So time will be as soon as the screen fades to black, so get ready for that. I think that's the last hit. Yeah. Okay, according to my splits, I barely missed the sub 30, but there we go. That's time.
GG!
Thank you. Yeah, no, there were some tougher stretches, which I didn't quite expect, but there we go. It's still the run, I guess. So that's our trip to Tokyo Disneyland, and we saved Pluto. Yay! A good friend, Pluto.
Best boy.
Best boy. Yeah. So now the story wraps up, and we see Pete here. And well, so it turns out Pete told them that it was a day off because it turns out he was kind of jealous of their show, and it seems like he really wanted to join in as well. And well, Mickey forgives him, and it's like, okay, you can join. And then everybody, happily works together, puts on a show. It's really wholesome. So yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Jangle. Have you got anything else like to shout out quickly?
Oh yeah, sure. So yeah, this is Mickey no Tokyo Disneyland Daibōken. Very glad that I got to show this off. Yeah. I was sort of aiming for a sub 30, but I guess this was close enough. So there were some. I was able to show off the stuff that I wanted to at least. So I'm glad about that. Hopefully everybody enjoyed. I can definitely recommend playing this game at least. It's as far as I'm concerned, it's right up there with the Magical Quest games if you like those. It's a very fun game with balloon mechanics that are satisfying to work with. So yeah, shoutouts to the other runs of this game. There's a couple of us. Also shoutouts to Speed Bump, the show from Smite's channel, who initially put a bigger spotlight on this and actually introduced more runners to this game and made this what it was. So shouts to Smite and Author Blues and Speed Bump. And I do various speedruns over at my channel, so if you want to see some speedrun variety, I do this game, many other games, feel free to drop me a follow over at twitch.tv/janglestorm. And otherwise, be sure to keep donating for Mind for a very good cause. Enjoy the rest of the marathon still, and I'm signing off. Have a good one. I'll see you next time. Take care.
Thank you very much, Janglestorm. Okay, we're going to go straight into our next one after this quick intermission. We have Here Comes Nico. It's going to be a race between Naomi and Kasaito. So please don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this.